Hi everyone, I'm Joe. Today I'm doing a video that is very unusual. It is both the most personal video I have ever done in my channel's 6.5-year history. It is also the first video I have ever made which doesn't reference a book, an author or a fellow booktuber. And indeed, it is simply the story of my channel name, FinalBlowJoe. People have asked me several times over the years what my username is related to, and my answer has always been quite simply that it is related to an old silly nickname that a friend gave me prior to making booktube videos, and I haven't wanted to change it away from that, which is accurate. However, that doesn't tell the full story. Obviously it is only a very brief comment, and I've been wanting to make this video for several years now, but frankly have kept putting it off because it's so personal that I've been unsure whether to talk about it. But I've reached a point where I don't mind anymore. I'm quite happy to talk about the subject. So, I first started making videos at the start of 2014. 6 months before that, in the summer of 2013, is when I first discovered that booktube actually existed on YouTube, a sub-community of it, and people talked about books on YouTube and actually made videos on it, which was really strange to me and bizarre. However, prior to that discovery of booktube, I used to play an online computer game with a group of friends. That computer game is called EVE Online, if you are curious. Now, there is an in-game term, or reference I should say, it's hard to describe without getting into detail, which I don't want to do, related to the word final blow. Now, one of my friends, whose name is Chris, he realised one day that the word final blow rhymes with my name, Joe, and the nickname was created. So sarcastically, every now and again when we was talking, he would just use this FinalBlowJoe nickname, and it just sort of stuck over the years, and this was over a long period of time, actually for more than a decade in fact. So now we're going to skip forward to when I first discovered booktube in the summer of 2013. I do not like naming things, of any kind, so having to create a YouTube channel and think of a username was unpleasant because I had no ideas. I've got a good imagination apart from naming things. My imagination failed me really badly. So logically I thought, well, the only thing I could think of at the time was to use FinalBlowJoe. Hence obviously my channel name today is still the same. And at the time I only wanted to create a YouTube channel so I could comment on other people's videos. Obviously I never planned at that moment that I would ever consider making videos myself. Now, jump forward again to New Year's Eve 2013. Now, me and my friends, including my friend Chris, we were just talking and hanging out and laughing and joking. None of us were doing anything for New Year's Eve and celebrations and such. And we just, we're just talking and just having a sort of general nice evening, just hanging out together. Then towards the New Year's Eve celebrations themselves, so probably about 11:30 at night or so. Now we never saw her, but obviously from the other room we heard my friend Chris's wife's voice call out that she's going to bed, and could we try not to be too much longer because it's getting late, and she wants to get to sleep in peace. And we were laughing and joking and making a little bit of noise, which is completely fair and reasonable. So not long after that, we did indeed all call it a day. Everybody went to their own beds and everything, and it all seemed perfectly fine. Just a normal night where everybody just goes their own way and we stop talking, and it's all good. Then 2 days later, or 3 days later, I think it might have been the January the 3rd in fact, we got together again and we was talking and things, and we realised my friend Chris wasn't with us at the time, which was unusual because he normally would be. However, we found out about half an hour later, when my other friend joined us, that Chris, my friend, had actually died on New Year's Day. In fact, this was a real shock to all of us because obviously it's not something that we expected. He had no history of what killed him in the end. He actually died in his sleep of a heart attack. He had no history of heart problems at all or anything else related to that, so it was completely out of the blue. And in fact, he had actually died less than about 4 to 5 hours after we had actually been talking in our group, which is frankly kind of disturbing to all of us, and we all felt that was very uneasy about that, because we talked to him, we was laughing and joking, and then everybody went off, and then next minute we know he died in his sleep. That was disturbing. And the reason why I have not changed my username away from that is actually essentially what his wife said next. A few days later, when we talked to her, she said that she'll always remember and always appreciate us, because her last memory of Chris, her own husband, before she went off in the other room and went off to sleep, was hearing him laughing at us as a group. So that stuck with me, and I know it stuck with everybody else. And as a result, I just can't bring myself. In the early years of creating booktube videos, I did think that I would rename my channel, but I just have never been able to bring myself to do it, because that memory of what his wife said about, her last memory being of her own husband laughing, and that was because of us. So her last memory is nice, right, your husband, and it's because of us. That made me quite happy, and it made everybody quite appreciate the fact that we got on well. And indeed, my friend Chris was one of the few friends at the time I had, actually the only friend at the time prior to joining booktube, that I actually ever talked about books with. So for me, it was somebody that I got on well with. I understood him, and I'd known him for a long time at that point. I'd known him for close to a decade, so he was a long-term friend, and it was very surprising that he died. I've never actually had another friend that was that close actually die on me, so it was quite upsetting on a personal level as well. So therefore, this channel name has to remain as such, as my kind of, I suppose you could call it tribute, or my sort of acknowledgement of him, or his memory I should say. Basically, as long as this channel name, FinalBlowJoe, remains, that's his nickname for me. Therefore, that little bit of his memory will live on, literally for as long as the channel does, and indeed as long as the channel name even exists. Even if I stop making videos, as long as I don't delete the channel, that little bit of memory will still be there, and I like that idea. And indeed, that is why my channel name will not be changing anytime soon. Maybe in the future I still might change it. I mean, I know that he would say even now, don't be silly, don't just keep the channel name just because of him, change it if I feel like it. It's possible, although at this point I think I've got used to my channel name. I think other people have, even though it sounds highly inappropriate to a booktube channel. FinalBlowJoe sounds a bit strange and a bit silly, frankly, and it's not related to books, but it is what it is. It's my channel name, it's unique to me, and it certainly stands out, I think, because it rhymes, and nobody else has quite got a booktube channel with a name quite like mine. Anyway, with that said, that is actually it for the origins of my channel name. If you want to ask anything to do with this, then please don't be bothered by asking. Feel free to ask. I'm not going to get upset by people asking me about anything to do with him, or anything other aspect that I might have overlooked or glossed over. All my social media links can be found in the description box below. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.